Alright, let's go more. That video's only 8 minutes in.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I guess the red light helps.
Yeah.
Sweet mug you have.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So, funny story about that is, we went to a German fest in Bernie.
Yeah.
Right when I got out. It's irrelevant when it was, but it was a couple years ago, and it was like a tea booth, and they were like, you know, their sales pitch for it was like, I don't know, this thing was like $20 or something, 25 bucks, but they're like, any festival you go to and we're there, you just, you know, you bring this cup and then you'll get like 99 cents for fill it up, and then it's free at any time after that. And I was just like, hey, it's a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
But I've yet to see them again, so they kind of got me with that.
Right.
But I like it, man. It's almost got like a, I don't know, like Captain America thing going.
Yeah.
But I assume it's like for like Texas.
What's
but,
it even say? I was trying to read it. But
it's a star, but it says something like, shit.
I imagine their company or
Pecos Pete's.
Okay.
Yeah. So, shout out to Pecos Pete's.
Yeah, we'll have to go
sponsor
find
this
him.
video.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Yeah, man. So, it's kind of funny when we started recording, and I was recording audio, but I didn't start the thing, so we had to start over. Anyways, rookie mistakes. But thanks again for coming on and driving over here.
Sure.
I know this used to be all like, you know, nothing
Yeah.
at one time. I grew up. Are you from here originally?
No, I've lived here like almost 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we talked about, you said Florida, right?
Yeah, I lived in Florida and then Colorado before that. So.
Have you always like rode, like mountain biked?
No, I mean, I've always ridden bikes. Like as a kid, I had a bike, and I think I skateboarded for a long time, like middle school through college, I guess. And then I started like rediscovering bikes in my mid-20s, I guess. Kind of road biking mostly.
Right.
And then when I moved to Texas, that's when I started. That was my goal when I moved to Texas. Like, I want to buy a nice mountain bike. And at the time, it was a $500 Trek.
Okay.
Like to start out at. And I rode in McAllister Park immediately after buying it. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Nice.
And that was like 2012. And I've stopped for a little bit, did road biking again, and then came back to mountain biking once I got like an office job where I wasn't using my limbs for work. Because that's the reason I stopped mountain biking. I had a kind of labor job.
Oh, got you.
So like if I get hurt, I'm like, I can't work. So I road biked, and then I got a sit down office job where they can wheel me in a body cast. I'll be fine. So I was like, all right, I'm going to mountain bike. And
some can argue that road biking is equally dangerous, especially here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, that more likelihood of dying, I guess, because I've ridden I used to live by SeaWorld, and I rode out to Castroville once, and it was like the scariest thing ever on I think it was 211.
Yeah.
Maybe. I forget, Tilly Road, is it? Or Tally Road?
Tally, yeah.
Yeah, I think I rode out that way. It was just like horrifying because the shoulder's about this wide and people are going 80 miles an hour. I'm like, road biking is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, people don't
blowing
think about
you
it that
over
way.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and it's not as ingrained in the culture here yet, you know.
Yeah, definitely not. Like,
so they don't look out for cyclists.
Not at all. Like,
so like what got you, like what sparked the bug for like mountain biking? Is there like something you saw, or?
I don't know. Like, I guess when I was living in Florida, I was kind of heavier. I was a bigger, not like obese, but I was just like a bigger dude. And I picked up a bike for like $100. I was like, man, I used to love riding as a kid, and like, this is fun. And I just thought about mountain biking. I was like, man, that looks fun. I've always had an interest in it. I grew up in Colorado in the early 90s, so mountain biking was a little different then, and I didn't really have the means to go do it as a child, but I don't know, it just, from skateboarding, I was like, that seemed like a natural progression, is the more mature mountain biking scene, I guess.
Right. No, yeah, that makes sense, especially in Colorado. I mean, it's like, speaking of the culture, it is in the culture there, and you know, there's trails everywhere. Yeah. I know, hopefully we can not necessarily get the mountains they have, but at least some of the progressive trail systems like that they have.
Yeah, it's coming along here.
Yeah, no, it is. And I've gone, you know, I don't know if you've gone to any of those meetings or anything.
Yeah, with Kyle.
Yeah, with Kyle.
Yeah, I went to his first one. I haven't
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw you there.
Yeah, I don't think I've been back.
Yeah.
Because he had more since.
Yeah. We can probably get into it a little bit, but so, and I know we were talking earlier, and you said you started the YouTube thing about 5 years ago, or
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what kind of like sparked the thing? Like, what were you doing as far as like playing instruments before that? Like, what type of content? Just
yeah, it like just kind of covers of songs that I liked because I have weird music taste. So I would just find a song I liked and then play the drums over it, like how I would play it,
right,
and just stuff like that. And it was hard to be creative in a sense because I'm not like the most wonderful musician that ever lived. So you kind of run into a wall pretty quickly as far as creative. And the whole YouTube thing appealed to me from the get-go because I played in bands growing up and stuff, and it's fun and I enjoyed it, but you are relying on other people, like 3 or 4 if you're in a band.
Chemistry.
Yeah, and just chemistry, like schedules, especially when you get older and you all have jobs, kids, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, I need something like I can do myself, and that's kind of how YouTube started. It's like a creative outlet you can do yourself. You don't have to leave the house. Like I don't have to play a bar at 2 a.m. to 3 people that don't care about what you're doing. So I was like, we'll see how YouTube goes. And
what type of music do you listen to?
all kinds now. I mean, I grew up like in the punk scene.
Okay.
Many years ago, but yeah, I like everything, man. I still use an old iPod.
Okay.
It has like 20,000 songs on it.
Oh, nice.
But
you're talking about the big one?
With the wheel.
Yeah, with the wheel. Nice. That's impressive. It still works.
I know. I can't believe it because a lot of that stuff is just old music I found, and I was like, I like this, and I haven't figured out how to make a Spotify playlist, or I don't like paying for things I don't need to. So I'm like, well.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, it's like anything that you get new, like there's always something that comes along with it. You have to buy extra for it. And like Spotify, it's kind of like YouTube, right? Where there was no commercials, and then now there's like there's a lot more and more commercials trying to get you to buy stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like when you were doing the writing stuff, what kind of sparked the idea to start making like mountain bike videos, things like that?
One of my first videos was like how to bunny hop a road bike, and it was just like that need to go outside and create something. I'm like, well, I can sort of bunny hop my road bike. Like, can I teach other people to do it? And I set out to make a video about it. And then the one that kind of made me start doing it consistently was Seth's Bike Hacks. Actually, no, I think that came first. I don't even remember my own history anymore.
It kind of just merges together,
yeah. Yeah, he had a video contest to win a bike. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, I do.
3 or 4 years ago, and I made a video for it. I was like, man, this is incredibly fun, just like filming bike riding and creating a story out of it. Because when I was doing like music YouTube videos, I wasn't very consistent with it. It was like once a month I would put one out because I guess I didn't have the motivation there. And then I told myself, I was like, well, if you're gonna make these bike videos, like be consistent and like stick with it and see what happens. And here I am still doing it. And so it's like, wow, time flies. That's
a big thing, is being consistent. Like at least for me, like I initially just started doing it just to, it was kind of like the same kind of story in the sense of like, I rode, first time I rode any like real mountain bike was in Germany. It was like 4 or 5 rides. Like my supervisor took me out and he was like, hey, and I borrowed a friend's bike, which was too small. I didn't know shit about it. It was like the 21 speed or whatever. So it was like the 3 chain, there wasn't a single chain ring up front. So I didn't know how to use the gears, and I was just trying to keep up. I was most of the time hungover, like trying to keep up and stuff. But I remember how awesome I felt afterwards, and I crashed a lot then, like we all do when we're starting. Yeah. But and then fast forward like 7 years, because I only did those few times, and then I got stationed in near Massachusetts, near Boston. Okay. And I didn't do any riding up there. Retired, and then I remembered how much fun I had. And I know I needed to do something, and it was something like active because I did like the CrossFit thing. I did weightlifting. I did all these other like things that I found fun, but then I got bored with them in a sense for many different reasons. And I still do a lot of those things. However, it was just kind of like I want to find something that, you know, I just want to keep looking. You know what I mean? I just want to keep like I play. I mean, I don't play a shitload of instruments. I play the ukulele.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that's fun for me, you know. And I pick it up every so often, and I do that. I like drawing, and it's more like creative outlets for me.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what led into I bought the bike, and then I think it was like watching Seth bike hacks.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that looks like fun, and so I bought a GoPro. It was like a GoPro, I don't know, 2.
Oh wow.
So it was just like, you know, like like I see those videos now. I was like,
right.
you know, making those
Bouncing
noises.
in that case.
Yeah. So and then I kind of just started that, but consistency. That's that because at first I was like, I really enjoy making these videos, but I don't want it to be where it's like a job. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, my motivation was different. I was like,
right.
I want to do it, and I wasn't great at making videos. I'm sure when you started, you probably weren't, you know.
No one is.
Yeah.
Out
So
the gate.
my goal was like, I'm just gonna try to get better each time I make one, and then more so lately, I've been wanting to get more consistent with it, just like this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put out one a week.
Nice.
It's hit or miss because, you know, life happens, and then. My co-host I do it with, he has his own like creative endeavors plus a job, and it's kind of like, you know, hit or miss sometimes. But more so lately, like, I'm trying to like line up more guests like yourself, coming on, and and just trying to get this conversation going. And I finally found the purpose for it, like what I'm doing it for.
Nice.
So I asked, like, when is your goal like to try to get more people like riding, or is it like just for fun?
I've definitely like transitioned focus a little bit because like my older videos is just GoPro chest riding, talking about the trails wherever I was at the time, and I've kind of just like moved more into reviews just because more people see them in a sense, and I also noticed like a gap in content in a sense. Like a lot of mountain bike channels are like $4,000 bike, budget friendly,
right? And
I was like, I see this opening where no one's talking about like these $1,000 hardtails that are actually pretty good,
right?
And I remember being a beginner myself and like not knowing anything and just buying a Trek because everyone's like, oh, Trek's the best or whatever, and there's not a ton of information out there that I saw. So I was like, I started making videos about like, here's the 5 best bikes under this price.
I've seen that video. It's a good video.
And they've done really well, and a lot of people were like, oh, this is incredibly helpful because I kind of sit there and go like, this is what a through axle is, like here's how it's different from a quick release. And a lot of comments is like, no one's really explained that too much. So I kind of started shifting focus into that.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of helped me reach out to more bike manufacturers and say like, hey, these people are interested in seeing your bike. Can I review it? And I've had a few say yes. So I have a few review bikes at the house. And
I never knew how that worked.
Yeah, I didn't either until I just got like the first list video I did. It did well. It was at like 30,000 views, and I was just like, I emailed Marin because one of their bikes was on it, and I was like, hey, like 30,000 people just heard about your bike. Like, could you send me one? I'll review it.
Right.
I'll send it back when I'm done. And they're like, yeah, sure.
So, like, how does that work? Do they just like send you a box and then you just like shipping and stuff?
Yeah,
or?
He's just like, what's your address? And like a few weeks later, this bike showed up, and he's like, you got 3 months. When you're done, I'll pay for shipping to ship it back. But I actually ended up buying it because he's like, if you want to buy it, I'll cut you a deal on it. And I was like, what kind of deal? And it was so good. Like I was just like, I gotta buy this bike.
Right.
Like, I don't need it, but what a bargain. So I was just like, yeah, that's cool, man. And then from there, I released that video and reached out to Rocky Mountain Bikes. Said like, hey, like I've mentioned your bikes in this video. A lot of people asked me about the Growler. Do you have one to send me for review? And they're like, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And they sent me one too. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So do they ask you like any like specific questions? Like, hey,
Not really.
how many subscribers you have or anything like that? Or
I usually just tell them all that up
Yeah.
front. I give them a link to my channel, like the main channel, and then if there's a certain video that's relevant to them. So for Rocky Mountain, I sent them the San Quentin review I did. I was like, here, I just finished this for Marin. This is the finished product, kind of what you can expect. And they're just like, yeah, it looks cool. Like, what's your address? And they don't pay me or anything. I'm not sponsored. Like that. There's a lot of confusion about that, I guess, when I get comments like, oh, he must be sponsored. He's just saying nice things about it.
Yeah.
No, like I can say like this bike sucks.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I haven't felt that yet, which
I wonder if you do say, like, I'm not saying that it would keep you from saying it, but have you ever like said something like that and they come back to you like, how dare you talk about this bike? Talk about our bike.
Well, actually, yeah, this
You're
early
not saying
on.
the name or nothing.
I'll say it. This camera company called Van Top.
Oh.
They're one of those cheap like Amazon action cameras. I regret doing this, but they're like, hey, we want to send you this camera. And I was like, all right. I had like 500 subs maybe at the time. And it was the worst camera. Like, it's so bad quality. And, I was honest in my review. I was like, I wouldn't buy this. Like, I said, like, if you're a kid and you have $40 to spare, like, sure, it's cool. But if you have the money and you can afford a GoPro, do that. And yeah, they sent me a pretty long email about how like, oh, like we didn't agree to you saying something bad. And I was just like, sorry, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with viewers because I don't know. I always feel weird about sponsored stuff just because I'm like, they're being paid. When it says paid promotion at the top, they're being paid to say like, I love this thing or whatever it is. And
Yeah,
I don't
conflict of interest.
Yeah, I really don't want to do that unless the offer was just like so unreal, like life-changing money, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and even then it would be kind of weird to do, just because you're like, well, I'm kind of doing this for the money, but I'm like, kind of like almost like quote unquote selling out on to some level.
Because I've always said that, like in a lot of my videos, like I'm not paid to do this. They didn't send me a script because one company did send me like a contract, and I was like, I'm not signing this. Like, I don't need your product. Like, and they're just like, oh, okay, like we'll send it to you anyways. Like, because I told them I was like, I don't do this contract stuff. Like, and it was pretty intense. Like, you can't say anything bad about this. You can't do this. You can't mention this. I won't say.
That's so like shady about it. Like, at the same time, it's just like, we're asking you to do this, but yet, like, you have to say what we say. Like, you might as well give you a script.
I haven't gotten a script yet.
No, I said they might as well give you a script.
Oh yeah, and some of them will. Like, I assume some of those paid ads you see, that's totally a script, and you can tell like they're usually looking right next to the camera, like their paper there, and I mean that's fine. That's how people make their living. Yeah. And I understand because a company, their goal is to sell that product. So if they know it's kind of like, it's not the best, like they don't want to send it to some guy who's just like, here's the honest truth, it sucks or whatever. So I mean, it's all marketing in a sense.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking about like doing that, but in the sense of not necessarily like asking for a script or whatever, but I just didn't know how to do that. And going back to like the reviews and stuff, I haven't done those because I'm like, and in my mind, it's not like the way I think is like I need to learn and understand before I make any content, and to a certain extent, like to be like in my mind, I'm like, I'm just gonna create like entertainment videos in this sense and just have fun with it. And then once I actually know what the hell I'm talking about, then I'll make those type of videos. But it makes sense for like just to make those review videos because it's kind of like the audience is learning with you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I can see that there's that genuineness that comes off. Yeah,
especially if like they trust you and like as people get to know me on the internet or whatever, they're like, oh, like he's pretty straightforward guy. He's not lying to us. Like, a lot of the stuff that I feature on the channel, I've bought myself. And I always say that, like, yes, I paid full price for this bike. Like, most of my bikes I buy myself. And, I mean, and to your point, like, if you do want to review something like IXS's helmet, you can make a quick video on it, just saying what you like about it, what you don't like about it. And if it gets 1,000 views, email it to them.
Right.
Like, hey, like, look, if you guys ever have anything you want me to review in the future, I'd be happy to. And leave it at that. Because, I mean,
Right.
that's 1,000 people that just saw their product
That's true.
for free.
That's true.
Like, they didn't do anything.
The only thing I've reviewed is, and I have, like, not to say that I'm rich or nothing, but I have bought, I mean, I'm sure we both have bought, like, a lot of equipment. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is like content that I could have put out. I could have did this one. Like, I'm thinking about just going through all my old stuff and then just reviewing it, comparing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's like, I've done one review video. It was the Box 9 when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I had I don't know if I just got a faulty shifter or what, but dude, my thumb was so damn sore, like
Really?
from shifting.
Oh, wow.
It was in the high gears. But then I mean, that's probably one of my videos that's probably had the most views.
Okay.
It seems like review videos, there's just, you know, a lot of people, and it makes sense because they're getting something out of it. You know, they're trying to learn something. They're giving them some type of I don't know, education or information for it. And especially if you're gonna throw down like $250, $300 on something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I liked everything about the drivetrain. It seemed solid. I mean, comparing like weight and stuff, that's not really, you know, a thing of mine.
Yeah.
Unless it's gonna be like 4 pounds or something.
Right.
But I really enjoyed like all of it. And it was like a budget buy in the sense, like, because it was right when the 12 speeds came out with SRAM and Shimano, and then Box 9 came out with their equipment, and I was pretty excited to get it. But then I ran into so many issues with the shifter. I was contacting the company, talking to them, and they were talking about the B screw adjustment, taking it to Crossroads, and I was like, obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Right. So it's like, but I just ended up sending it back.
Really?
Yeah, just
I
was, and I was like honest with the content, like, you know, but that's probably like one of the 2 videos that I've done like a review on. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that was cool. It was cool to kind of, you know, break it down and like, you know, hit drops and stuff, and then see if like it would, like, the chain would pop off and stuff like that. But that was pretty fun. But that's something it's kind of been in the back of my mind, because it's one of the things I'm like catching on to is like, yeah, I'm making videos and I enjoy doing them, but at the same time, like, what is the viewer getting out of it other than, like, you know, being entertained to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of like one of the things is kind of just going back. And do you use like analytics at all to track your progress or anything?
Kind of. Like, I look at them every now and then, but it's not something I obsess over, because it's like an ebb and flow. I've always said on YouTube, like, some months people are watching my videos a lot for some reason. Right now it's the opposite. It's just like, okay, Kyle posted a video, like, it doesn't do that well, and I'm just like, I don't know. And I think it's just because, like, I'm kind of all over the place with my content. Like, I've reviewed a lot of different types of bikes. I don't stick to mountain biking like I probably should, in a sense, but yeah, it's just, I can't obsess over those numbers, just because that's a whole interview in itself, you know, just analytics and diving into that. It's just like, I don't have time for that. It's just
yeah. And I did it for like maybe, and I've talked to another YouTuber about it, and he was saying that that's kind of like where he got stuck on sometimes, and and I was like, I get it, because when I first saw that, I probably did it like, I don't want to say obsessed, that's not the right word, maybe for like a week, and I was like, oh, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it's but I was like, that's not what, like, my goal is not like that right now. So I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing on videos, so let me worry about that first, and then I'll worry about that. But yeah, man. So like, where do you where's some of the places that you've ridden and that you just like, this is a must go, and then like, where is it like, I wouldn't go here again?
Bentonville.
You would?
For sure.
Yeah,
I would definitely go there. Yeah, that's one of my favorite places.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I've been there like 3 times now.
Nice.
So you always hear that. I always recommend that. I went to Colorado last summer to ride, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I would recommend that. Where else did I go? I went to Pisgah, which was really cool.
Nice.
If you like big, technical, chunky stuff, kind of like what we have here times a million. But I think one place that kind of surprised me was Moab. Like
Surprise, how?
I didn't absolutely adore it like I thought I would.
Mhm.
Like it was cool. Like I liked Moab. It was fun, but it was just like a different, I don't know, style than I had expected.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't do enough research before going, but I don't know.
What part of Moab?
Well, we did, let's see, Captain Ahab, and that was pretty incredible. That was the trail I was kind of expecting. Like, this is what Moab is,
Mm-hmm.
Captain Ahab, and then we did Slick Rock, which was also pretty cool. See, now I'm thinking about like, okay, that's forget what I said that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was just cool, like in a different way. Like you're not going like Slick Rock. It's a lot of climbing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot of rewarding climbing because it's just so incredibly grippy, and it's like as steep as your wall here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, on camera, it doesn't look
yeah.
like that, but you're looking at these hills and you're like, there's no way I can pedal up this. But then you do it and it's just so grippy.
Mm-hmm.
It just like, you just crawl right up. I was like, oh, this is incredible.
Oh wow.
And you don't get that like anywhere else that I'm aware of, but
Mm-hmm.
so, Moab was one of those places like, I don't have to come back here every year.
Right.
Every 5 years probably. But like Bentonville, I think about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go back every year because something new is there, something's changed, and that's
Yeah,
my favorite
I've
spot.
been there twice.
Mhm.
I was supposed to go last year, but I broke my hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't end up going. But I want to go back, and it's just like kind of like to check the boxes of places that when I first rode there, I was like, that is fucking huge. I would never do that.
Yeah.
And then like now I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So
You've come a long way as a rider in a short amount of time. I don't think we've ever actually ridden mountain bikes together.
Yeah.
But I've seen your videos and like, you hit some big drops, dude. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty stupid.
yeah, if you want to call it that, like, but you do it because I think you said you hit the second one at Reveille.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there last weekend and I didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
It was pretty sketchy when I did it because we had
Yeah.
just had rain and there was like
Bunch of ruts.
yeah, a bunch of ruts.
They're still there. That's why I didn't want to do it. I was like,
Yeah, because if you hit one of those ruts and you can go
oh,
into
you're
be real
done.
quick,
Yeah.
especially coming, and you can only go like, you know, what was even more dumb about that, like me doing it, was that I didn't even warm up. Like I just got to the drops and I ended up talking to some guys and then there was a miscommunication and then he was just like, I was like, well, do you mind towing me in?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, do you want to do this one? I was like, yeah, but he was talking about the second to the last one. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he started going and I should have just stopped, but that's the dumb part of me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, he's going already. He said yes, I agree.
I'm already here.
So and I kind of went a little too fast, but I mean,
yeah.
luckily I kind of went a little top heavy, but I landed it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that was dumb.
Dude, it's a steep transition.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing. I went pretty slow and just like kind of like nosedived. I did the second one from the,
Oh, okay,
from the
okay.
lowest one.
Right.
And even that was just like, oh geez, like
Yeah, it was like 6 feet, right?
probably yeah,
6
something
to
like
8.
that. Because
Yeah.
the first one was just like this much lower than this.
Yeah.
Like, I'll skip that. But yeah, like and then that biggest one, I'm probably never gonna do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm fine saying that. I don't.
Yeah. No, yeah, I
That's
get
like
it.
a 20-foot drop.
I probably wouldn't do that one, especially if it's like sketchy on the bottom like that.
Yeah.
But I would, if it was like a clean transition, I would try it.
Yeah. Like a
But,
faster launch
yeah.
drop. I'm okay with that sort
Yeah.
of, but it's just like fall.
Yeah, you're just going like 1 mile an hour and
Yeah, it
you
was
know?
it was fun. Like I had a good time. But it was,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, last year, like I don't know, like when I started riding, I just kind of like really bought into it. It just, you know, for I'm pretty sure a number of reasons, but that was definitely, and then just riding with other people and stuff, and then I think what helped me progress a lot was races.
yeah.
I did Bandera, like was my first one.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, before they closed.
Yeah.
And that one was like, it was pretty mild and it was a good intro.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Because I didn't want to get into it because I was like, I don't know. I had this mindset that like the racing was just like, I'm going to have to be doing like miles every day. I'm going to have to do this, do
Right.
that. But then like, I kind of just went in it with my own style. And in the sense of like, I train without training. You know, I'll go out riding and then I'll try to do like a trail as fast as I can.
Right.
And then I just stop and chill or whatever, and then
Yeah.
hang out in session and then do it again.
Yeah.
And then just, and I think so speaking of traveling, that's kind of one of the things I'm sure you could speak to. Like every place you went, it made you better as a rider.
Oh, absolutely.
So like any places that you went, you're like, when you left there, like, I'm definitely learned a lot here.
Angel Fire, for sure. Really any bike park, like in the mountains. Because, I mean, descending for 30 plus minutes, that's unheard of here. Like we don't have that.
Yeah.
Because Spider, it's just it's downhill, but it's like 5 minutes at most, maybe. So just and same with Bentonville. Every time I go there, there's something new. Because I remember first time I went was like 2018. We looked at Drop the Hammer. I said the same thing I said earlier. I was like, I'm never doing that.
Right.
That's huge. Like that's scary. And then the next time we go, we did it. And it wasn't that bad. And I was like, oh wow, like it's cool to check yourself that way, because if you just ride the same trails over and over, you never really notice that you are getting better. Sure, you're riding a little bit faster. Maybe you sent that drop a little further, but when you step up to a bigger feature or somewhere new that you're like, normally I wouldn't hit this by myself blind, but now I come back and I can do it. And it's like, yeah. So I encourage people to go out and like explore new trails, because even Dallas, I don't know if you've ridden up there.
I want to go up there. I was telling Sandy, I was like, I want to go to Dallas, because I've been like talking to some folks up there, and I know some of the TDTP riders are up there in Dallas, and I want to go check out. You talking about Big Cedar?
Big Cedar, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go check that out.
It's intense.
Yeah.
There's some big stuff there, and even Austin has a ton of great stuff.
I know Seth's invited me to Cat Mountain, but I just haven't gone.
It's
when I was supposed to go is when I broke my hand, and then like something else would come up where he would go out of town, and you know, so it's always just kind of like just missing each other, you know.
It's gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't been there. I think 2018 was when I went, and I'm a lot different rider than I was, you know, almost 3 years ago now. But BKXC was there that day, so I was like, well, I'll go meet BKXC.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't really hang out with him because he's incredibly fast and like way ahead of us sometimes. I was like, well, that was a waste of time, but
it's so fast.
Yeah, but Cat Mountain, that day changed me as a rider in a sense, because it's like I didn't know this scary stuff existed like this close to home.
Yeah.
I haven't been back since. It's not because I don't want to, just like
just haven't.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of need an invite. I don't know how it works fully. But yeah, Austin's great. Like Brushy Creek, they have their little.
I haven't been there yet.
They have like a free. I forget what it's called. They have like a free ride area in a sense, but it's got some really cool features.
Nice.
It's kind of like Parkwood in a sense.
Nice. Maybe I'll go check that out this weekend.
Yeah, it's not far, so.
Yeah. So yeah, when I went to Angel Fire, actually I'm going next week.
All right.
Yeah, to Angel
nice.
Fire.
Okay.
But when I went to Angel Fire, I remember going up the ski lift or the bike lift.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck. That's like, you just keep going.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it's leveling out. Oh. You gotta keep going.
It's fast too.
Yeah.
Like the Spider was the first chairlift I've ever been on, and I go to Angel Fire afterwards, and it's just like really fast. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
This is cool.
You gotta jump on there, if not, it's gonna clip your legs off.
Right.
Damn. So yeah, Angel Fire. Is there like which one was your favorite trail at Angel Fire?
Probably Boulder Dash.
That was fun.
Yeah, but again, that was also like 2 years ago, I guess. And I think because I have a different bike now, that's also changed me as a rider. Like I had the old Jeffsy, and it was a good bike, but it's a little steeper geometry than what's modern now. And I've noticed that like when I take my newer bikes out to ride, I feel like better about it. So I'm like, I need to go back to Angel Fire because I think I could definitely do some bigger trails.
So which bike do you have now?
The Nuke Proof Reactor.
Nice.
Which I hardly ever ride anymore, but I still have it. I think I'm gonna sell it soon. Soon-ish. I've got a trip coming up, I think in a month, to Snowshoe in West Virginia. So I need it for that. Because I was gonna sell it and just ride my hardtail until I find another bike, but I was like, well, I need to hang on to it. because that's my new thing. I want to like try to get a new bike every year just to experience different bikes.
Got you.
I like the technology and just seeing how bikes ride differently.
So how long have you, like how often do you switch out your bikes since before coming to that idea?
I had the Jeffsy for like 3 years, so not too often. And then I had a black hardtail.
I remember that one.
Yeah, probably for about 3 years as well. And I don't know. I started getting other bikes. I was like, man, I just like bikes, like, and seeing how different they all are. And as I'm starting to get like review bikes in, it's like I don't even have to own a bike. I can just keep hopefully getting them in rotation quite a bit. That'd be the dream. But
So, yeah, I know it'd be like what was it like? I'm trying to think of Lone Wolf or whatever.
Yeah.
They get like all the latest bikes and stuff.
All the time.
I know. So based off of like the new bikes that you've had, like what are the biggest things you've noticed as far as like the difference between the newer technologies?
Actually, I'm starting to realize like I like shorter travel bikes, which I think a lot of people, their first bike, they go bigger. Like, oh, I need 170 millimeters of travel or whatever. Because from the Jeffsy, I went down like 10 or 20 millimeters front and rear. And it's faster. It feels better. It's
more nimble.
Yeah, and I can still hit big stuff on it.
Right.
Because you can hit that stuff on hardtails, but your back's just gonna hurt. So because like 90% of the time I'm not dropping the hammer or doing something like that. I'm just kind of like pedaling around. So I'm like, why am I carrying 150 millimeters of travel?
Right.
But yeah, just geometry's changed. Like the steeper seat angles, you're in a better pedaling position. Suspension tuning has gotten a lot better. So when you're pedaling, your back end isn't doing this as much.
Bobbing.
And just the head angles are out further, and you can go faster downhill. It's just bikes are just so good right now.
I know.
All of them.
And I'm pretty sure demand is driving that too.
Oh yeah.
So like, I've noticed that too, because when I first started riding, it was kind of like playing with granted I had my Norco. That was my first bike. I didn't even start out with it like a cheap bike. I just impulse buy, bought it, and then it was just like, it was 120. It was like a trail bike. 120, and obviously it's a hardtail, so there's nothing in the back. And then I just started like adjusting stuff, and then I think my first full suspension was a Diamondback, because people were seeing what I was like. They're like, you probably should get a full suspension. You're gonna, I was just like, okay, so one of my James Stanley, I bought his old one, and then frame switch out, whatever, and then I think that came with a 150. It was 150 130 stock. It was the release, and I upgraded to 160 because I was like, I'm gonna start doing racing and all this stuff. So I put my Olin's fork on there, which I got from Chris Wood. I got a good deal on that. And then long story short, I did some races, and I think where I messed up was, so other people let me ride their bikes, and I was just, because I noticed, like, especially when I did Camp Eagle, when I was pedaling over the chunk, it was just like, there was so much like pedal bob and stuff, and I was just like losing like my cadence and stuff, and I was just like, this bullshit. And so it was, a competitive part of me kind of took over, and then I started doing my research, and I ended up getting the Pivot Firebird. But it was a toss up between that and the Switchblade, because it was I was like, well, do I really want all that travel? We're here in Texas, and then in my mind I was like, this is before Rona or during Rona. I was like, I plan to do more traveling, so I don't want to be under bike. That's usually the big thing, And I still have my Norco, which I threw a 140 fork on there, and then that was perfect. So when I started kind of going back between the two, I realized, because I was such like a novice to riding, I was like, it's not like you can send it on just about everything. It's just willing, like, how much,
how much your body's willing to do it.
Exactly. So it's kind of that's kind of one of my things. It was just like, oh shit. So Um, anyways, long story short, I went with the Firebird, and the only reason I did that was because it came with a Fox 38.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, it's kind of the same bike. It was kind of the same bike, but the travel was a little bit more. So I kind of just went with that just because it was like the new shiny thing, you know?
For sure.
And like the price difference was like, I don't know, a couple $100. It wasn't like much between the two, the Twist Grid and the Firebird.
Nice.
So that's what I went with. And I'm glad I did. And especially like some of the stuff I've been doing, it definitely gives me more confidence.
Yeah.
And then the pedal bob is not as, obviously, I mean, it's not really a comparison.
Yeah.
Because it's like one's a trail bike, one's, you know, and I probably would have stayed with Diamondback, but they haven't really changed they haven't done anything.
Not at all.
And that was kind of my thing, was like, I would like to stay with especially for the YouTube thing, like more affordable range. But, you know, I was, you know, offered some good deals on like the bike. So I was like, was it a good opportunity?
Right.
So I'm going to try to jump at this.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, like the Diamondback, like they were asking a lot, and I was like, it's the same pedal platform. They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And then they were switching companies at the time. I think they got bought out by...
like whoever owns
Something with
Rowley
A.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of them, but
Something with an A.
yeah.
I thought. But anywho, like that's... So it was kind of like that thing. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something fun. Like, so does your have you, like, any of your like family or anybody, like, you know, got into mountain biking because of you or anything?
No, I mean,
You just think you're crazy?
I mean, they're supportive of it. It's like, I don't have kids or anything, so, but my parents are like, oh, it's cool what you do. They like watch the videos and like, it's interesting. I mean, they're older, so they're probably like, what is this? But no, like my parents have been very cool about it, but you know, I don't see them mountain biking anytime soon, but
get an e-bike for them?
Maybe. Yeah. I have like the e-city bike, and I think even my mom expressed some interest in like trying it. She's like, oh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
'Cause it's got the throttle and everything, so you don't have to pedal.
You can take them on the mission trails.
Yeah, because we live like right across the street.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, okay, I could do that, but yeah.
That's kind of why I take like new people that ride.
Yeah,
like just
it's
to get
fun
used
out
to the
there.
shifting.
Yeah, there's some cool features.
Yeah.
I like street riding. I'm pretty sure you do too.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah, especially coming from a skateboarding background. So
yeah,
you
I think that's part of it.
Like sessioning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't do it as much as I should. I don't know. I've gotten more focused on like trying to just trail ride. I think because I clip in now.
Oh, gotcha.
So I don't get to do like the fun, like, oh, I'm going to try to learn to crank flip or whatever, because I'm like terrified to try and wheelie clipped in, just in case everything goes wrong, which it probably would. So I am like a little bit faster clipped in, but you lose kind of some of that.
How long have you been riding clipped in?
Probably like 8 months or so.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it, like to try. I said I never would.
Yeah.
Just because I like like just being able to bail whenever I can, or whenever I want. And but I've been watching like videos and stuff, and like especially like the downhill racers and enduro racers, especially through all the like chunder and stuff. They're just like
there's a ton of advantages to it, and like you said, like especially riding a hardtail, because I ride them a lot. We have a lot of rocks here, so if I'm going fast down a hill, I don't want to worry about my feet just blowing off like at Spider. Clipping in was great because I can just go through like those rock gardens relatively fast for my ability, and it's one less thing to worry about.
Right.
And I've always noticed, like, if you are bailing, your natural instinct is just like twist all your limbs and move.
Oh, okay.
And you come unclipped. Even if you don't twist your heels out, if you pull hard enough up, you'll come unclipped. But
have you tried those Magna pedals?
No, they're pretty interesting though. Like,
yeah,
a little bit of best of both worlds.
That's the one thing that I was kind of like, you know, I was like, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, that's like baby steps, you know.
Yeah.
Like, try it out, and because I used to road bike, so I was used to clipping in for that.
Right.
Because you don't really fall much, so you learn how to unclip, and I would say try it, man. There's a lot of benefits to it, but you do lose some of that like playfulness, I guess.
Yeah.
Until you're really comfortable and like, okay, I can jump clipped in. Like that took me a while to get used to again.
Do you find yourself pulling up on the bike?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think my technique has gotten worse. Jumping, we'll say, just because you naturally you don't think about it and you just kind of start pulling. Because I used to jump okay on flats, and I had a pretty good technique of like scooping and everything, but my pedals, the clip pedals, are a lot smaller, so you don't have that platform where you can put your heel and like drop your heels where you kind of push into it. So naturally, you just kind of compress and then you're going, and then you just like kind of pull.
Yeah.
Because I switched to flats for a game of bike me and Dan played.
Oh, nice.
And like I tried to bunny hop and my feet just like came off instantly. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have to relearn how to bunny hop, but it's like riding a bike. You just kind of remember. And
I've heard like you should like switch back and forth. Like
I can see why.
Keep yourself honest.
Yeah, because like I do get bucked a lot more jumping in clips because I'm not doing it properly. And
Gotcha.
I have to kind of like rewire my brain. I noticed that at Reveille the other day on the jump line. I was soaking the jumps up too much because I feel like I'm going to get bucked, so I don't really open myself up. So like towards the end, I was just like, oh, just open up your body a little more and let the bike come up before you do anything with your feet. And things started to click in my mind. I was like, okay, I guess I can jump somewhat.
Nice. So like, speaking of YouTube, like, is there any like rabbit holes that you've gone down lately that you just like, or you just kind of stick just to mountain biking?
I actually don't watch that much mountain biking content. It's weird. I watch a lot of car stuff. I like cars. So
like what kind of cars?
All kinds.
What do you like specifically about cars?
I think I like to watch content of stuff I'm interested in, but not necessarily do. Like cars are expensive. Right. Like as a hobby, like I would love to build or work on some or have a project car, but that's more expensive than mountain biking. Yeah. Like I can't afford both. I don't make that much.
No. So. I used to be into cars when I was younger.
Oh really?
Yeah. Nice. Like imports.
Yeah. And, see, I like Japanese stuff.
Oh, nice. So, what's your favorite car? Like if you could
probably like a Datsun 240Z. Nice. I like the old Z cars, and like I had a Miata for a while. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a van, so I had to sell the Miata, but
same thing.
Yeah, sort of, yeah. I miss the fun driving, but like camping in a van is awesome. Yeah. And I saved so much money having that, so yeah, it's a trade-off. But
camping in Miata is not so fun.
No. I wouldn't recommend it. But like I mountain bike so much now, or I know enough about it. Like I don't need to watch videos as much about it. Like I still watch bike reviews. Like if a new bike comes out, I'm like, okay, I want to learn more about this bike. But as far as watching just standard trail rides, I don't do it as much as I used to. Right. And I don't know if you're the same way because you're kind of fully submersed in it, so it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I watch so what I watch is so specifically with mountain biking, I watch a lot of the like pro riders, and like I try to like just see like what their techniques are, like when they're going through stuff, like how they put their feet in. Like one thing I've been working on lately is like pumping, like through the like chunder, and like because I want to float like they float, right? You know, and it's kind of it's a, I don't want to say it's like an art pretty much because you have to time it right, and so I watch that, and then I try to. It's probably not beneficial for me for like progression because what people have told me is that you should pick one thing and just work on that. And I try to do everything at once as I'm riding.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Oh, okay. Well,
I always tell my friends that like I'd be so much better at mountain biking if I didn't do other stuff. Like I have a gravel bike, I had a fat bike for a while, I had a road bike for a while. Like I try to like we did a cyclocross race last week. Yeah, we were there too, and like I don't know, I'm just all over the place. I just love all kinds of bikes. So I'm like, man, if I just like buckled down and only did mountain biking, only had one bike, I wonder how much better I'd be as a rider. Right. Not to say I'm like terrible, but I don't know. I just love all things bikes. Yeah. So.
No, yeah, I get it. Like, so like, and that's what I tell people. I was like, I session while I ride. Like, you know, so I'm going through stuff and I try to pick out lines and, you know, work on my, you know, not bunny hops, but like, you know, when you bump jump.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, I just try to like connect the trail, like, and just try to play with it pretty much. But that's pretty much what I watch like mountain biking stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff I'll watch, like if it's in the weeds. Like one thing I need to kind of start, you know, dialing in is my suspension like setup, like learning how to do that, understanding it. Because most of the time if I don't know what I'm doing, I take it to Crossroads or something.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And have them help me with it. It's just me being lazy, honestly.
Yeah. I always just have like a good enough mentality. Like,
right.
I look at the sticker with the recommended air pressure and I'm like, all right, it feels all right. Like, and there's some scenarios where I'll realize like, okay, something's wrong. I'm not like a huge suspension nerd, because half the time I don't even know. I've had this Marin Elroy in for review for the last like almost 3 months. I still don't know if the fork's set up right. It's close. Like that's the hard part about reviewing is like, is it me that messed up the fork where it feels a little off? And I did, you know, you get a bike and you're excited to just ride it. I don't want to sit there and like write things down like, oh, I need this many clicks of rebound. I'm just like, it's good enough. I just want to ride it. And, but yeah, it's important to learn that stuff.
Yeah, especially if you can like try to get the most out of your bike, you know. And I know it's kind of a review thing, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing with me. Is like I've had my suspension set up since I bought it, and I've kind of messed with the you know, rebound and stuff like that. But I don't like. I should write it down because my memory is garbage. Oh, me too. Like my full suspension, I got it where I want it, and I never touch it. I don't check the air pressure because I see a lot of people sometimes, friends, come out with a shock pump like almost every ride. I'm like, how do you keep changing it? Like I don't know. I like it the way it is, and for the last year and a half, and I don't touch it. I don't worry about it. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is like when you go to like bike parks, or more specifically, like recently is Spider Mountain, is that I had to like tick off some like a bunch of clicks off of my rears just because it was like bucking me a little bit. Oh, really? Yeah. The faster you go, you're just kind of like. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, but so that's something I need to pay attention to. But so like going back to rabbit holes, like so cars, anything else? Like anything else kind of? That's pretty much it. As far as YouTube goes, that's just kind of what I binge, because I don't really watch like TV shows. Yeah. I'm always busy like editing a video and then watching some videos in between, because I've learned that's kind of the biggest thing on YouTube is not the more content you watch, the more you start to compare yourself to like what other people are doing, and then you think too much. I think too much about it all the time. So I tried to like stop watching others and just like, what would you do with this video topic, and just do it. There's two things that I've learned is like, one, I catch myself, I'm watching like YouTube. Usually like I watch a little bit of mountain biking stuff. It's not as much as you used to. Right. But one of the things that occurs to me is like, you're here watching this, you could be like you know, making your own content doing right something now. Because I know I need to, but I don't know, it kind of like I have to like feel it, you know what I mean, and then do it, because I really just need to sit down and just show up and then just do it to be more consistent. But as far as I was going somewhere with this, how long would you say your average video, like, and I know it's gonna be a tough question because you kind of go into this like, you know, at least for me, I start and then before I know it, it's like midnight, and I'm like, holy shit, how long am I sitting here? Yeah. So how long would you say, like, how many days does it take you on average to put out? Okay, two questions. First question is, how often do you put out content, and then how long does it take you to put each video out? So I'm technically once a week. That's my schedule, and I try to adhere to it as much as possible. Trying to think how many hours. I would say it's a full-time job that doesn't pay like a full-time job. Right. So usually like Saturday is my film day. Depending what the because I upload on Friday. I used to do Thursday, but now it's Friday. So Friday night, I kind of think about like, what's the video for next week, and what kind of shots do I need for it. So I go out Saturday, film not all day, but as much as I can, given the heat or whatever. In the winter, I like filming in the winter a lot more here in Texas. Right. But
yeah, Saturday's filming, Sunday also filming if I have time, and then like Sunday night script writing, and then if I have time, I try to like film my voiceover or whatever the video requires, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night is editing, and Thursday's usually kind of like my free night. Thursday and Friday nights are kind of like my free nights, and
do you go like with like a I don't know if it's called like a cut sheet or like hey, I'm gonna get these shots and this is like, or do you just kind of?
It depends on the video, I guess. Like for bike reviews, I don't know if you saw my last video, but I made like a scoring system for bike reviews, and that was kind of more for me to like visualize what kind of shots do I need. So if I'm talking about a bike's cross-country capabilities, okay, I need to like go ride Mud Creek at McAllister and get a few shots of that. Downhill, if I can make it to Spider, great. If not, like Parkwood or something like that. So I try to just internalize in my mind, like, here's the shots I need. And I should write a script first and then go film to that.
That was gonna be my next question.
But I don't. I usually film and then write a script. So I was working on a video for the cyclocross race we did. It was supposed to be out tomorrow, but I didn't finish it. So. But
and tell a teacher.
Right. And I stopped like stressing about it. I used to stress so much about every week it has to be out, and I'm just like,
yeah.
No one's sitting at their computer screen like, where's fucking Kyle's video? He's so lazy. Like, so,
get over your ass, Kyle.
Yeah. I started editing it either last night or the night before, and races are hard to film or to make a video about because you don't know what's going to happen. I couldn't write a script beforehand because I've never done a cyclocross race. So it's like, I knew I was going to do bad. I didn't know I was going to do that bad, but I was like, because I was like way at the bottom.
Shit, I finished last. I got past it. Well, I assume like nobody, like I don't think anybody passed me after that.
They
I was
released
just
the
in my own
score.
world.
I don't know if you saw the sheet.
No, I haven't seen it.
I finished behind you.
Oh, okay.
In case you're wondering. So
Oh, okay.
you didn't come in last. I was like fourth to last.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay.
So I was like fifth to last. There you go.
Fifth or sixth, maybe. I don't know.
It don't matter.
You were significantly ahead of me. So
Yeah, shit, man. I thought I was like when I was done. Like my wife took a picture of me. I was just on my handlebars, like, ugh.
That was tough.
It was.
And what was even tougher about making a video is my GoPro glitched out and didn't record like the last 3 laps.
Oh man.
So I don't have me finishing. I don't have us talking to each other. So I made like a 4-minute video. I was really proud of the script I wrote. Like it had some good jokes in there. I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny, but it sucks. Like the footage I have, I'm just like, well, it's, you know.
That's one thing I like about your videos, and I've told other people is like I like it because your character comes out in it. You know? Some videos like is. It's just kind of, you can tell that like where they get their influences from, because they're trying to be like that person,
right.
Which I mean, whatever, they're creating videos. I'm not trying to talk shit about them, but that's one thing I like about your videos. Is I don't watch them all, I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
But at the same time, it's like when I do watch them, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I get those jokes, you know.
Good.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad. I try to like, that's why I tell myself starting YouTube is like just be yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's a zany personality, I'll say, but I didn't want to play a character on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a job in itself, is like having a different personality. And it's fun. A lot of people I've met are like, you're just like you are in your videos. Like, I've heard that a lot. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
it's me. I'm not some celebrity or guy playing a character. And that's just always been my mentality for YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. And like so I haven't like written any scripts yet, like, and I don't know, I just don't write, like I just haven't, but it's something that's been in the back of my mind. It's like, maybe I should write like a script.
It's not the most fun part of it, unless you really are like had an idea that like, oh, this is, sometimes it just flows out. Sometimes I have to sit there for hours and like force a script. And I've rewritten, I think it was for my review on my bike, the NS hardtail I had, I rewrote that script like 6 times. Dang. I don't know why. Every time I read it, I was like, this sucks, delete, start over. Right. That's days of work. Yeah. And it's not the most fun. And then some videos, it just flows out. And I'm like, okay, but yeah, I wish I could just naturally speak and not have to like
That's what I kind of do is like I'm watching the video and then I kind of just like I'm getting better at it. I feel, but like because I'm trying to include myself more into it.
Right.
But it's kind of like it's not that I'm trying to be like I'm just me. Like I joke a lot, but at the same time, it's like if I'm trying to distinguish like how to not necessarily be me, but like just kind of shut off like the seriousness of it and like the joking part of it.
Yeah.
And then usually when I create my videos, it's I add it afterwards. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times I just sound like so direct. I'm like, damn, I sound like an asshole.
Yeah. And that's part of it. That's part of the learning process. Because if you go back and watch some of my old videos, I sound like so sad to be talking to the camera. I'm like, oh God,
like Kyle, I saw your video. I'm so depressed now.
Yeah. There's people in hospitals because of it, and I'm just like, and that's just something you don't learn because no one ever teaches you like, here's how you talk to a camera.
Right.
And you just start it and you kind of like figure it out yourself, and as you go, you're like, oh, okay, there's nothing to worry about. Like,
yeah.
So there are people that are just natural talkers, like BKXC.
Yeah.
That dude doesn't write a script. He's just naturally charismatic and charming, and he could just pick up a camera and like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And make a video out of it. And I've made videos where I don't write a script and I'm just talking.
Right.
But I ramble. And I'll have hours of footage, and I'm like, I have to get this down into 10 minutes. I can't do that, so I have to write a script after the fact and condense it, because it just doesn't come naturally to me. Like I can talk to you because you can talk back, and, but just talking to yourself, it's like, oh, this is tough.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Camera.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, and yeah, so that's one thing I'm working on, and then the other thing you kind of brought up is like the time constraints that you have, because that's one thing I've noticed a while back when I paid attention to the analytics. It's like people's attention span is like so limited. Yeah. And I've noticed like even with like you kind of see the trends. So I saw it was like 3 minutes and below, like most videos, like people like that's all they watch.
Yeah.
And then even with commercials now, they're like, I don't know, 5 seconds, because they know people's attention span isn't there.
Yep.
Because there's so much content.
Yeah.
And then so many people trying to compete for that, like in that watch time.
Oh yeah.
But
it's a game. Like I try never to make a video over 10 minutes. I mean, I have quite a few that are 15. Depends on the topic. Like if it's like this needs to be in depth, I need to tell you as much as possible about this thing. I'll take my time to do it. But as far as like that cyclocross video, I got it down to like 4 minutes.
Oh, nice.
It is fast, but because I don't have that much footage, it's just me on a GoPro, the same track over and over. So I'm just like, here's a couple jokes. I suck at this. You should try it though. It was a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the gist of the video. That
was fun, and I actually had my GoPro in the car. Actually, at this one, and I didn't even put it on because there's sometimes I'm just like, I just don't have to deal with it. I just want to have fun. Yeah. And I'm glad because you would have just heard it. And
that's my thing. Before going to the race, I was like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna ride, I'm gonna talk while I'm riding about the experience and like how much fun I'm having. And you start pedaling and I can't speak. I'm just like, fuck, I'm exhausted. I don't know what to say. Like, and that's all I could say is like, I'm tired. This isn't a good video. So
lap 5, I'm still tired.
For real.
Damn, dude. Well, hey, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, so if you want to check out his videos, Cobra Kyle.
It's on this shirt.
Cobra Kyle. I'll put a link in the description to his YouTube page, and just go check him out. And man, look forward to future content and see where the channel's going, and maybe we'll have you on again in the future and see where you're at.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for listening and watching. But if you can't watch or don't have the time or just can't sit there, just listen to us on your drive to your local trailhead, wherever that may be, or on the drive to work. And you can check us out on Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Alexa, and a lot more streaming apps. Just search Crash and Chug. All right, out.